Welcome back, everyone, for a Schlossberg Cobra Kai Season 5 Watch Party. Recently, my good friend Cobra Kai Kid was at the premiere of the Karate Kid musical. While there, he was able to interview many people associated with the production, and Hayden Schlossberg happened to be there as well. It was a wonderful interview, and I suggest you watch the whole thing. Now, in the interview, Hayden, in his wonderful Hayden way, may have revealed a few things he didn't really intend to. The first came when Drew asked about the newly announced character Kim Da-eun. Notice how Hayden replies.
I would say that I can't confirm anything. If she is related to the original Master Kim, that's not good for Daniel and Johnny and for a lot of things, because Master Kim is basically the anti-Miyagi.
Okay, so take in a few things about this. He starts off by saying he can't say anything. It would be giving stuff away in spoilers. Then, in typical Hayden fashion, he proceeds to go on and say a bunch of stuff. My sister does that too. I can't say anything, but all I'm gonna say is this. But what's interesting here is he jumps straight into the possible family connection of Kim Da-eun and Master Kim Sun-young. Drew didn't prompt him or anything. Hayden brought it up on his own. That definitely shows a mental connection between the two in Hayden's mind. If you mention Kim Da-eun, he's thinking about Master Kim Sun-young. It makes it far more likely they are related. Now let's go on to what Hayden actually says in regards to the possible relation.
Master Kim is basically the anti-Miyagi. He is, that level of legend, but on a kind of dark side level.
That is perhaps the biggest piece of information about the lore of the Miyagi-verse that we've gotten in a long time. In one simple sentence, Hayden has told us a lot. Where previously Master Kim Sun-young was only ever a throwaway line in Karate Kid 3. Then he was the teacher for Captain Turner years ago in Season 3. We now know he is a large, almost legendary character. Really, the way Hayden talks about Master Kim, you would think there was a trilogy of movies that featured him as a wise old teacher. But there's not. Really, he's never existed except in 2 lines of dialogue. But now, here, at this premiere, Hayden is talking about Master Kim as if he's on an equal plane as Miyagi. In fact, he said it straight up. He's just the anti-Miyagi. This means they're really taking the lore of the Miyagi-verse up a notch, but they are tying it all to the original messages of the Karate Kid. I'll explain. Kim Sun-young is a legendary martial artist badass like Miyagi. Just the opposite. He taught Turner, who taught Kreese and Silver, and then so on. Apparently, he also taught his children and perhaps granddaughter Kim Da-eun. This reinforces one of the main teachings of Miyagi and general theme of the series.
No such thing, bad student, only bad teacher. Teacher say, student do.
Now, many school teachers will probably disagree with that, and I'm unaware if the teachers union has ever weighed in on that assertion, but it makes Master Kim Sun-young the original bad teacher. I think they're definitely wanting to play on that theme some more. There's an idea that bad lessons can continue on across generations and generations, and that's what we're seeing here. Especially consider what Hayden keeps saying.
That just is not a good thing for the nerds of the valley,
He is implying that the new students will again pick up these teachings. The cycle continues. Now, as for Kim Da-eun directly, it also elevates her role as an adversary. She's definitely not just a generic fill-in character because Terry Silver needs more dojos. She is the direct heir to the fighting style. In this case, she is sort of the anti-chosen. You can expect her to be a top-tier Cobra Kai sensei. And at least thematically, she and Chosen are filling equal but opposite roles. So the question then becomes, who is she teaching the most and who is her rivalry? I'm guessing Tori is the most likely to be directly under Kim Da-eun's teachings. The other Cobras, like Kenny and Kyler, don't seem the right type for her. Plus, Tori was close to Kreese and he's gone. So it makes sense she needs to find someone else to connect with, and it was always unlikely to be Terry Silver. Considering how Season 4 ended, Tori needs another Cobra Kai sensei to learn under. There's another quirk about what Hayden said that I want to point out. Watch this.
And yeah, so we'll see what happens with Kim Da-eun, and we'll learn more when the show comes out and as more things come out.
Wait, watch it again.
And yeah, so we'll see what happens with Kim Da-yoon, and we'll learn more when the show comes out and as more things come out.
Now notice how he talks about the show coming out and then says more things come out separately. Like, what else is there other than the show? Now, he could just mean promo materials, but it's not super likely we'll get a lot from her from previews. Usually new characters aren't well defined in the trailers. Stingray wasn't in the Season 2 trailer at all. But instead, if you want to be optimistic, you can take this all as a hint at maybe potential spin-offs. Considering that Hayden talks about Kim Sun-young as having such an important, almost mythical role in the saga, you would almost think they need to show or expand on that. I mean, how is the audience supposed to know he was the anti-Miyagi when we've literally never seen him? Sure, Da-eun can provide some of that backstory, but any info coming from her would be as a relative, a granddaughter, so it wouldn't be the best perspective. But what if this is a potential setup for a spin-off series? Now, I've been talking for a long time about how I think the most likely spin-off series would be Miyagi, and I still think that's the case. But could a Miyagi series somehow include Master Kim Sun-young as a villain or antagonist? On the surface, it would appear not, but it does greatly depend on the direction the series takes. It also depends on how they imagine Kim's origin. First off, we know he teaches Tang Soo Do. This goes back to how Pat Johnson handled the fight choreography in the original movie and was confirmed by Captain Turner in Season 3. There's also a general acknowledgement that there is at least some blending of the styles. Specifically, Okinawan karate has had some influence on the Korean martial arts. Possible somehow Master Kim was influenced in some way by Miyagi-Do. There's also a lot else going on historically. Japan occupied Korea from 1907 till the end of World War II. This is where a lot of the knowledge and blending came from. The Koreans were picking up at least some of the Okinawa karate during this period. Is it possible Mr. Miyagi's father was at some point part of the occupation force in Korea and taught some young students? Maybe even a young Kim Sun-young? It's wildly speculative, but I would say it's at least possible. This could also explain the divergence in style and philosophy. According to at least one history guide, like the Chinese before them, the Japanese did not teach all the principles of their arts to the Koreans, so it was left to the latter to reinvent them. So Kim Sun-young had to branch the art off himself. Plus, his country was being occupied by a foreign invader. Perhaps he resented that and instead developed a no-mercy philosophy because of it. Notice the similarity to what Chosen said.
The Miyagi ancestors fought Japanese invaders. The only way to survive is to kill.
It's really very similar. A people who learned martial arts adapted the style to be more aggressive to defend their home against invasion. That would mean the Cobra Kai philosophy and moves branched off of Miyagi-Do while Korea was under occupation by Japan. You can see how that would lead to a strong belief in
No mercy.
No mercy.
No mercy.
And no mercy!
the Cobra Kai we know from the show and movies is just more recent and never got the more peaceful and balanced side of the martial arts training. This could definitely be a very different side to a potential spin-off. It would be the origins of Miyagi and the anti-Miyagi. Or it could just be a backstory with Kim Da-eun in the upcoming season. Either way, I think the show is going to have to cover all this the way Hayden keeps playing up Master Kim. This will really expand the lore and look at the differences and similarities between the two styles. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. So do you think Master Kim Sun-young is the anti-Miyagi? And the origins of Cobra Kai can extend back to when Japan occupied Korea in the early 20th century, which led all the way to the nerds of the valley being afraid? Leave a comment and let me know. Always be sure you're subscribed, you don't want to miss anything. Have a great day, I'll see you at the next watch party.